What is up, YouTube? How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. This is going to be the second part of my series of CoD and Crime. So welcome back. We're going to continue our discussion on H.H. Holmes today, and if you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. Today we're going to check out some Hijacked. Since it is new back to Call of Duty, it kind of feels like Black Ops 2 again. I'm kind of excited. It doesn't play the same as Black Ops 2, obviously. Black Ops 2 was just face it. But let's get into it. So last we spoke was about H.H. Holmes and his murder castle. So with the murder castle being built, he began to employ workers and tenants began to move in 1891. The first woman we're actually going to discuss as far as H.H. Holmes' terror runs is Julia Smythe. Holmes began an affair with Julia, who lived, she lived at the hotel with her husband and her daughter. Her husband found out about the affair and he ended up leaving them. Holmes and Smythe continued their affair after her husband left, but her and her daughter would actually disappear Christmas of 1891, which is, like I said, the first year that he allowed people in. Holmes claimed that Julia died during an abortion, but no one really knows what happened to the two, and quite frankly, if she did die during an abortion, what happened to their daughter? So in 1892, the following year, Emmeline Segrande got a job at the hotel and began an affair with Holmes as well. Around December of that year, she too would disappear, so it's a bit of a continuation. It's just a year later, same time of year, another woman would end up disappearing that worked for him and had an affair with him. During this time, Holmes met a man named Benjamin Pitzel, who would actually soon become one of Holmes's accomplices in a lot of his schemes and his frauds. The next unsuspecting victim of Holmes's terror is Minnie Williams. Minnie was an actress that got a job working for Holmes at the hotel, and Holmes actually convinced Minnie to sign over the property that she owned in Texas, and then Holmes promptly signed that over to Benjamin Pitzel. Minnie and Holmes married, and her sister Nanny came to stay with them. So Nanny and Minnie are staying with Holmes, and the two end up writing home to their family about taking a trip together, and they were actually never seen again. So it's thought that the bodies of the hotel were more than likely dissolved in acid or cremated, or even sold as cadavers for medical purposes. The people began to get suspicious of Holmes, and he would actually end up leaving to go to Fort Worth, where he had actually had the property for Minnie. He began to work on his new castle and promptly conned suppliers. He was quite the con artist. After he begins work on his new castle and he cons the con artist, he just wasn't paying for his supplies. He would actually end up arrested for the first time for selling the stolen goods that he was taking from the suppliers. While Holmes is in jail, he makes friends with an inmate and they decide to what they're going to do is a new scheme to make money. He decides that they're going to fake the inmate's death and get the insurance money. What ends up happening though is the insurance claim, it doesn't work. The insurers refuse to pay because it seems suspicious. Obviously it was. So after his first failed attempt, he decided to try again, but instead of using the man he met in jail, he actually decides this time he's going to use Pitzel's help. It was with the same plan before. It's going to be a cadaver and an insurance claim, except this time he doesn't use a cadaver. He actually ends up murdering Pitzel. So Holmes seems to be devolving after this murder. He actually convinces Pitzel's wife to let him have custody of their 3 children. He tells Pitzel's wife that Pitzel is waiting for them in London, and he's going to go ahead and take the 3 children. So he actually takes the kids across country, and 2 of the children end up being murdered in Toronto, sadly. And at this point, he was already being followed by Detective Frank Geyer from Philadelphia. Geyer finds the bodies of the 2 girls in a basement in Toronto, and this is going to be a little bit more graphic, so I do want to apologize for that ahead of time. So, warning here. The children had, one of the children had a clubbed foot or clubbed feet, and she would have been recognizable. So what Holmes does is he actually removes both of the girls' feet so that they couldn't realize who they were. So Holmes is being followed, and he murdered the 3rd child in Indianapolis and continued his run. He would find himself in custody on November 17th of 1894 in Boston, and it was for horse theft. The cops needed to hold him on something, and they decided that the horse theft from when he was in Texas was enough to keep him because they were afraid that he was going to flee the country, which he would have. He would have ran again. And this is where Holmes's spree ends, but not before managing to twist the truth more. Holmes was a con artist and a murderer, and there's no doubt about that. He confessed to 27 murders, but some of the people he claimed to have killed were actually still alive at the time of his sentencing. Holmes and his murder castle have been shrouded in mystery and falsities, but one thing is for sure, and that is Holmes is America's first known serial killer and is the topic of a lot of interest. There have been theories surrounding H.H. Holmes that go much further than the 27 murders he confessed to, and the cons that he pulled. It was once thought that Holmes was indeed Jack the Ripper, and it's a really interesting theory. And if you don't know, the infamous Jack the Ripper terrorized London in the 1880s, and it was thought that this was Holmes due to him being out of the country around the times that the murders took place in London. So that's always been one of the theories. I believe that they've kind of disproven that one, but it's still an interesting thought for sure. His murder castle is also what he's most known for, and the castle is actually said to have had trapdoors, fake rooms, gas chambers, torture chambers, and his mysterious murder castle is even thought to have inspired some of the ideas for Saw, American Horror Story Hotel, and there's actually even going to be a Hulu series based on Holmes starring Leonardo DiCaprio. So he's been a major subject in the public eye for a long time now, and he's just always someone that I found to be most interesting. The fact that he's rumored to have murdered over 200 people, but only confesses to 27, and most of them were actually still alive, is what really makes him interesting. He just wanted to sell himself for more than what he was, and just to continue to manipulate people after he was gone. But this is the story of H.H. Holmes, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more videos. I want to continue doing the CoD and Crime series as well as a few others. So thank you guys so much for joining me. More videos will be coming soon, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.